EXP and EXC, they are subsets. That those items, EXA means item arrive at custom, item at custom, leaves custom. And if it's terminated, I mean, if it's cancelled, yeah. The export event you are seeing now is a list of the export events. Export event means that those events deals with the item leaving your post administration, that is leaving our post. Our post means NIPOST in this way, our postal administration. Events that deals with the items going out of the country. The first one is event A that I've explained about. The second one, arrival at outward office of exchange, we key it in. Those one in green, they are the custom event. It's custom event because we send it to custom. Custom, we send it on the system and pass it back to us. And if customs are satisfied with the item, then C will dispatch, we key in dispatch, as item will be dispatched. So events J and MK are also events at the office of exchange. Arrival at the transit office of exchange, dispatch from transit office of exchange. Let me quickly explain to you what events J and K means. Though we may not use it at our various offices, only the exchange officers. If item arrive Nigeria, but item is going to Cameroon, item is in transit here, we key it on event J that it arrives Nigeria, though it will not be delivered here. By the time we want to dispatch it to Cameroon, we key it on event K that we dispatch the item to Cameroon. The item is transit. That will say transit office of exchange. In that wise, Nigeria, our office of exchange is transit office, not the destination post. See, that is the pictorial picture of what I just explained to you. EMJ and EMK, office of exchange. The one, the EMJ is we arrive, we accept the item. When we dispatch it, it's on K. Yeah. Look at this picture again. If you compare it to the first one I showed you, this one talk about export events, where we have post office. At post office, only one event will be keying. At office of exchange, we key in two major events, B and C. Then we move down to this one. This one is talking about import events. Import event means that items coming into the country. You know, earlier on I said that inbound office of exchange. In this wise, the office of exchange will turn to inbound office of exchange. At IMPC, inbound office of exchange works at night as regard EMS. But for conventional arms, they work during the day. So items coming to office of exchange, when they are treating, we call them inbound office of exchange. These are the events that will be performed at inbound office of exchange before it reaches any post office. The final point, delivery, office of exchange. You can see the first event to be performed here to be key is event D. Event D is item is scanned into the system. When the bag is opened, individually, item will be scanned into the system that we accept the item at our post. Event D will be captured. The second major event, the item will pass to E. E is the custom. Custom will assess the item physically. If there's any issue with the item, they will retain it and it will be key in on the system that item is retained. So most of the services are expressing this thing. When an item is tracked, okay, it's with custom, it's with NDLA. This is where it happens. At ELE, item will be withheld if it has a query. If there's no query on that particular item, it will be released to be dispatched. EMF, another major event at office of exchange. EMF is when the item, having passed through the custom, is now ready to be dispatched to various offices nationwide. It will be sorted according to the office. Ogbonshore, Calabar, Uyo, Yaki, Wuse, Benin. And it will be dispatched on event F at office of exchange. You can see D FE, they are still under Office of Exchange. Eh? Still performing it at Office of Exchange, dispatch at Office of Exchange. Then the next cubicle there is sorting center, if applicable. In some situations, we have sorting center that items will be sort. But if you don't have sorting center, you move directly to delivery office. In this wise, when item leaves RMPC, it will move to Shomolu. But in Shomolu, we don't actually sort items. We deal with bag in Shomolu and move further to various destinations. So at delivery port, you see at sorting center now, we don't have any major events in sorting center. We don't have any major events in sorting center. Once the item leaves event F from Office of Exchange, it arrives delivery port, delivery depot. Delivery depot, since they are delivery office, that is the individual post offices where the items are sent to. The first event that we capture there is G, event G. It is a mandatory event. Every item must be captured. It means that you accept the item in your office. If you don't capture event G, it's a big minus. A penalty will be issued. You capture event G, that item is accepted. Once you accept the item physically, okay, it's okay. You now accept it electronically on the system, on IPS web. You accept the item. Just key in, you scan in the item barcode, the time and the weight. That's all on event G. There are other sub events there like EDF, EDG, and EDC, as the case may be. The next slide will show us the definition of those smaller events, EDF, EDG, and EDC. And mind you, before I go further, you see all these events in yellow, they are more relevant, and I repeat, more relevant to EMS item. But for conventional items, major events will be performed and you move on. Reason why they are more relevant with EMS item is that EMS deals with visibility of the item, the speed of the item. They want to know what is happening to each item at every moment, as if that item is a living being. That is the brains behind it. After performing event G, that is, we are set at our Office of Exchange. The next one major event is H. You know H, unsuccessful delivery. You must key in, it's a mandatory event. You must key in that, okay, delivery attempt is made. Even if you are unable to deliver that item at the first attempt or at the second attempt, key in that event, attempt has made to deliver the item. You do that on event ELH. Now, when the item is delivered, finally, that is I, event I, that's the final delivery. We key it in that that item is delivered eventually, successfully. That it is event I. You see, on the whole process, from event A to I, there are 25 events. Those ones that are compulsory for us are the offices, post offices. Event A, I mentioned, for outbound item, that's all. Then when it comes to inbound item, the one that are compulsory for us to do, event G, H, and I. Though we have little events to perform at our various offices, but they are very, very important events, mandatory events. We wouldn't believe that these events, I, H, and A, the assessment is based on those major events. The greater percentage of the assessments is based on events HI and A. So the efficiency of each postal administration as regards data capturing lies on what we are doing at our various post offices. Because at the exchange office, it is compulsory. An item cannot pass through without key it in. It is compulsory. So there's no way you can do it. You must capture it in. But at our offices, delivery, you can deliver the item physically without capturing it. Yes. you've done half of the job. You've not captured it. You can accept the item and push it to exchange office without capturing event A. Half of the job is done. So it is mandatory that we capture those events. Let's see the next slide. You can see the next slide. Import letter D, those items that has D in between, they are the sub items of the major items. And now this is the whole import event. You see, it starts from event D to E to F to G to H, I, because we are dealing with import events here. Item coming into the country. When item comes into the country, the first event to be performed is D. The key is D at Office of Exchange. Thereafter, all these sub events will perform. E, custom, resident custom at Office of Exchange. I move, we now decide this one at Office of Exchange. I move to delivery office, which is our post office. From G, you perform H, unsuccessful physical delivery, and you perform I, final delivery.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I can hear you. Do you have a question?
Please go on. Go on.
Okay. Valid. Now you can see the final event is event I. Now, why do you need to perform this event? The major reason we need to perform this event, not only performing the event, you have to perform it timely, because it will hand us some bonus from UPU. Apart from visibility, that the customer can track and trace the item. Number one, it builds the confidence for organization from the customers. And two, it has us some bonuses when this thing is done as at when due. Now, let me use this one to explain this delivery event. There's one thing we call delivery standard. Delivery standard is when an item is first land into the country, we have given a time in terms of hours and days that this is also time we can deliver it within Lagos in 48 hours. If the item is going to Benin, we can deliver in the next 72 hours. If it's going to the far north, we can deliver in the next 72 hours or more than that. That is the delivery standard, and it has been validated by UPU. So they are using that delivery standard to give us assessment, to score us. Now, let me give more illustration on that. Item A lands to this country, land in Nigerian Office of Exchange. After processing, item is being dispatched to Benin. Item going to Benin, according to the delivery standard, supposed to deliver it within 3 days. But we are unable to deliver within the 3 days that has been stipulated in the delivery standard. We will not score the appropriate mark for delivering the item. Despite the fact that when it gets to Benin, when you deliver it, we capture it, but we will be unable to score the appropriate mark. We must be able to deliver on time. Though there are some other factors that militate against prompt delivery, not only prompt capturing. You can only capture when you have the item with you. Before the item gets to your hand, physical item, you cannot capture received at delivery office. You cannot capture attempts of delivery. You cannot capture final delivery. Before the item gets to you, item may be delayed in transit due to transport, bad road, factors like that that you and I are aware of. If such an item in transit had already been delayed before it gets to your office, it will affect the delivery standard. It will affect the assessment. So that aspect will be rectified, make whole by the operational department. Once that time gets to your table, make sure that the first thing you capture is as received as quickly as possible. Attempt delivery as quickly as possible when the address is available. make the final delivery and key it in within the stipulated time. That's all. I will score the appropriate mark. So this is just a scenario from D to F to E at the office of exchange, just to show us what is happening at the office of exchange. H, unsuccessful physical delivery, as earlier explained. So that's about the IPS. Before we go to CDS and other subtopic, is there any question on IPS? Participants, any question on IPS?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Felix.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, the question I want to ask. Over time, we discovered that we have been doing this thing over and over and over. And it's either NIPOST is not getting anything or we are scoring 0. What is actually the problem? Is it at the office of capturing event A that is the problem, or capturing events G, H, and I that is the problem, or the problem is from the exchange office? Because we can't really figure it out. People are doing the best they can, but we just found out that many people are actually scoring 0. So what's the problem?
Okay, thank you for that question. The question is somehow technical, operational, and I will explain the question as best as I can do. The question you just raised, because by virtue of my movement, at one time or the other, I was in the post office seeing how we do captioning, and when I get to IMPC, I'm exposed on how these things are being done. Now, when we capture our events at post office, we have done your part. You have done your part. This thing is a network. At the office of exchange, we have a server. The applications is residing in the server. Number one. Number two, the IPS we are talking about, that application, that package, it has, we connect, we use IPS web, what we call IPS web, to connect us to that main app, main application at IMPC. The issue of internet connectivity, the issue of power surge, power outage, they are the major problems that at times militate against this thing. Let me explain. If you capture at your hand, you capture successfully. By the time that data is supposed to get into IPS server, there's internet failure or drop down in the signal. The whole packet may not be received. That's another issue. There may be power surge or power outage that at times you people will call us that, okay, we can't access IPS web. That is the reason. If there is power outage at IMPC, there will be issue. If the internet connectivity is down, there will be issue. Despite the fact that you've done your own part. That's why I say it's a network, it's a chain. It must not be broken at any point. Do your part as you are expected to do. At IMPC, everything must be done properly. Good internet facility. I'm glad that in the course of this training section, there is a topic on optic fiber. When the presenter gets there, you know how important internet connectivity, strong signal is a paramount thing in our process. So you must have good internet connectivity. You must have 24 hours power supply, uninterrupted power supply. Well, the way the server runs is just like the heart of human being. It must not stop. The moment there is a power source, the server, some of the process will stop. By the time power comes again, you still need to go and power on the system because some process have already stopped. So it affects data capturing.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Abe. I have a question, please. Can I go ahead, please? Can I go ahead, please?
You can go ahead.
Thank you for your presentation, and it's informative. Thank you for also stating the challenges that has to do with network, internet, and transmission. But I also think there's another leg to this problem. Now there is a stipulated time frame that UPU sets aside for capturing for all postal administrations across the world. Are we even in IMPC? Are we trying to stick to this stipulated time so that the items, as at the time it gets to the post offices, are you sure we've not even exceeded the time? So that all the work they are doing at the post offices is tantamount to nothing. That's the way I see some of these issues. No, I'm not. Do you get what I'm trying to say? If, for example, we're giving J+5, and as at the time these items they get to maybe Benin post office, is already J+7, it's about 7 days. Whatever they're going to capture at the post office in Benin is 0, right? So if it's 0, so what are you people doing at IIPC level? I know it's a mail movement thing, it's an operational thing, because I think some of the processes, I try to look at all the diagrams you drew. It goes to custom, goes here, come.
Hello.
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 Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well done for the good presentation.
Please, Mrs. Lamy, I'm coming. You will talk. I've seen your hand.
All right, no problem.
You will talk. I've seen your hand. I'm trying to ask a question so that he will get what I'm saying. Mr. Abi, do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand you clearly. Now,
I want you to look at that aspect, because it's not necessarily only network that is bedeviling this issue of 000 and percentage is low. The other day, it's even EDI issue that is the problem. UPU scored 0 again. With all the capturing, we still score 0. So what are you both doing to see how this mail movement process can also be looked into, or these processes that are done within IMPC? Because
Hello. You can answer it now.
Are you true?
I'm true.
You are true with the question. Okay, fine, beautiful.
Mr. Felix wants to say something. Hold on, please.
No. I say if you are true, we have a Lamy, we have a Rabo, and Sam.
Yes, I've seen their hand. Yes, all right. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Abe, please.
Thank you. If you listen with my earlier explanation about the factors militating against prompt delivery, I've mentioned it. Let me expatiate further on it. You say there's a stipulated time to capture item. Fine, it is true. That's what I said. Delivery standard. No, this standard is not affecting letter item, but it affects EMS item and parcel.
So are you saying the J+5 does not actually apply to later?
Thank you for that, because I wanted to ask.
I don't know where I can come in at this point.
But please, I'm sorry, there are so many hands up, so we'll take everybody's input or question. I want him to clarify one before we move to the other.
It's related with his response.
Okay, it's related.
You know, this general out. So it should, whatever you say, should be such a thing that is acceptable to every one of us. Under small packet, we are equally aware that the J+5 is applicable to them.
Mr. Rabo, please, can you hold on a while?
It has to be general.
Mr. Rabo, can you hold on a while, please? Sorry.
Let him explain.
He's already answering that, so let him finish so that we know whether he has answered your question or not. Do you understand?
Thank you. J+1, +2, +3, +4, as the case may be, is what we call delivery standard. And we have for each of the products, letter is a product, parcel, EMS is a product. It's different from each of the products. For letter, the time is more relaxed than that of speed that has to do with, like that of EMS that has to do with speed. That's what I'm trying to say. If 48 hours is given somewhere for EMS item to be delivered, it later may be 72. You may have time. And what Kingsley actually said that this stipulated guidelines, the letter may, the item may get to the destination, the time might have been lapsed. Exactly. I said items in transit are affected by other factors. People will carry the item, yes, the road may be bad, vehicle may be broken down. If it eventually gets to the destination, it can only capture it when it gets to your destination, not before it gets to your destination. In that way, it's operational issue, not technical
Please,
issue, not capturing.
Excuse me, please. Mr. Felix, please. I think all the mics are on. Can you turn them off from your end, please? Mr. Felix. All right, it seems Mr. Felix is not even online. Please, can we turn our mics off? It's interfering, please. All our mics are on. Please, can we turn them off, please? Please turn off your mics, please. Please. Please turn off your mic. God's will, you are talking. Please, can you turn off your mic, please? Paul, Ilya, please. Cynthia, your mic is on. Please, can you turn off your mic? Mr. Abe, please hold on, please.
Okay.
Please let us turn off our mics. I think Felix is not online, so he would have turned it off from his end. Mr. Goswill, please, can you turn off your mic?
I'm doing that now.
Mr. Paul, can you turn off your mic, please? Cynthia, can you turn off your mic, please?
I'm doing that now.
Who is Mrs. Modi? Your mic is on as well. Your mic is on. Thank you. All right. So that we try to minimize the noise. That's why, please. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry. Please, sorry for the inconveniences. All right, Mr. Abe, I don't want you to overflog the issues because there are so many hands up. So maybe you pause. Let us take their questions. You can, maybe in the course of you answering their questions, you may address some of the challenges that we have. I still have one more question, but I will reserve mine. Okay. Mrs. Your hand, please. Can you go ahead? Mrs. Lamy.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mr. Kingsley, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for the group chat.
You wanted to say something, yeah.
Let's add your question.
I just want to add little on the question that was thrown down. Why is it that we are still getting 0 upon all the capturing that we are doing on the event? I want to talk on that under the inbound items. That is those items that are coming into Nigeria. Can you hear me very well?
Mrs. Yes, I can hear you. Mrs. Modi, your mic is on. It's on. It's on.
Okay. I want to play emphasis on the items that are coming into Nigeria. That is inbound items. Okay?
Okay.
We have a little hitches on the mail conveyance. That is, when an item comes into IMPC, it goes straight to the tick table, which of a manifest is being generated, and it goes to other various districts for dispatch. And it's being done immediately at the IMPC. Those mails are being dispatched to Shomolu. Okay? So when those mails are being dispatched to Shomolu, sometimes we usually have hitches at that Shomolu before those mails are being dispatched to the post offices. Like Lagos, they have 24 hours within to capture all the mails. And I think Lagos is doing a little bit. But those offices that we have 72 hours, 42 hours, actually, we usually have that hitches of mail transportation. It's one of the biggest hitches that we have. Then second issue, we have problem on the event of capturing. We have at the district level, now we have left IMPC. At the district level, we have event G, H, I. That is event G, arrival at the office of exchange. That is where, at the office of delivery. That is where the mail is being delivered to the customer, isn't it? So immediately you receive that, you capture it into the IPS web. Fine and good. Then you now proceed to attempted delivery. That is, we are trying to show the.
Let's have your question because you are still going to entertain more questions.
Okay. So no, I want to shed more light on it. You understand?
Yes, let's have your question.
We are not capturing. You see, the reason why we are not capturing, you understand? So it's like we have problem after attempted delivery. We have first attempt, second attempt, and third attempt. Let me chip in very well. So the first and second attempt, it will tell you the reason why you cannot deliver that meal. You don't just accept a meal and keep and do final delivery. So that problem of first attempt, second attempt, when you're able to state it, there's a bonus that the UPU can grade us on it before even proceeding to the final delivery. And when
the next
question. When the is not being delivered, you can also have a bonus on it.
Okay, Mrs. Lamy, I'll pause you there. I'm coming back to that because we need to know the areas that we're supposed to focus on so that we'll be getting these bonuses, because NIPOST interest is that these monies are paid. So you hold on a while. Let other people ask their questions because you are in IMPC, so maybe you form part of the team that will be responding to these questions. No Mr. Irabo, please, thank you so much. Please mute your mic while we take the question from the DZM Benin zone. Mr. Irabo, are you still online? Mr. Irabo?
I'm still here, Mr. Kingsley.
Okay, so your own is it a question or an input to what they are?
No.
Okay.
Mine
so
is
go ahead,
input.
you have the floor.
Question.
Okay. I can hear you.
Just a quick one. You know, we talk about event A, which is accept item from the receive item from the customer. Now, in the various post offices, you are supposed to have 2 items, 2 performance there. You do that event A, and you do the second one, which is to forward the item to Office of Exchange. It's very, very important so that the ICT officer will take note, so that when they are communicating to their various operational staff, they don't jump that link. After you have done your event A, which is to accept the item from the customer, you do the second one, which is to forward the item to Office of Exchange. So that's just my additional input.
Mr.
Okay, Mr. Abbey, are you responding now?
Yes. Once event A is captured at the Office of Posting, that's all. You don't need to do any other thing. Once you capture event A appropriately, the item is ready for dispatch to Office of Exchange. At the Office of Exchange is event B that will be captured. It's only A that will be captured for outbound office. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that clarification. Sadisu, you are raising your hand. What's your question, please?
Yes, I have 2 questions. The first question is, I just want to, you made mention of J+2 or something like that. We want to, J+2, we want more, we want
J+5.
J+5, yeah. We need more explanation on it. And the second question is that if event A is not captured appropriately due to some problem that you have listed,
okay,
if it gets to the Office of Exchange, what do you do with it? Do you capture it in the IMPC, or what do you do with the item? I'm just curious to know.
Thank you. Mr. Abe will respond to those 2. Okay. J+5, can you explain it further? Mrs. Lamy, please mute your mic. It's interfering, please. Thank you.
The J+5 is not only J+5. I said it could be J+1, +2, +3, +4, +5. This is how it's come about. You know, there's something called LPT, latest processing time. When the item is scanned at the Office of Exchange, the inbound item, the moment it's scanned at the Office of Exchange. Okay, if item is going to be delivered in Lagos, you can say J+5. That one means 24 hours. The next 24 hours, it must be delivered. If it's J+2 now, plus 48 hours, maybe item is going to Southwest, like Ibadan. So by the time you have J+5, you know, plus go to the Far East. That's what it means. You understand? Now, this thing I said earlier is the movement of the mail. It's not only about capturing. The operational part of it, it must be moved from one point to the other by transport. There could be delay on the way. if that one is experienced, by the time the item gets to destination, eventually it has affected the J plus 3 plus 4 or whatever. So when you capture it, it affects the time and it affects the assessment. The important event that we're supposed to capture that will earn us bonuses, I said it, event G, H, and I, very, very important. A is important, but those ones that earn mark, H and I, don't joke with it. Receive the item, capture H immediately, that is attempted delivery, and make sure event I is captured. If those two events, H and I, are captured within the stipulated time, you score the 100%.
Okay.
Thank you.